Yes, so welcome everybody here on this Monday, 16th September in this Transpath Plan webinar of today. And today we have a very interesting speaker from the Mexican node. It's Carlos Ruggerio. And well, as we can already see, the title page of his presentation is open, and presentation is on articulating transdisciplinary and participatory action research methods for transformations to sustainability. And this is something that the Mexican team, Carlos with the Mexican team, has been working on in the past year. And that is also what he's going to talk, think, and share with us on today. So I have said enough, I think. So Carlos, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Shab. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to talk about my work with the team in the last year in the Mexico node. A central aim of the Mexico City node is to enable an increased sense of agency of different social actors in the Xochimilco peri-urban wetland. And we work in co-create transformative narratives and sustainability pathways there. During the first year, part of our work has focused on designing and implementing strategies that articulate diverse methods such as based tools and experiential learning or situated experiences. In particular, today, I will share two action research processes developed as part of my postdoctoral work there. The first one is about strengthening and intergenerational sharing of knowledge between older farmers and high school students. And the second deals with the collective construction of spaces to share meaning of the wetland and to foster the formation of alliances and synergies between local social actors. Well, the content of the presentation starts with a brief context of Xochimilco wetland, the objectives and the research design, the activities and results, and the lessons learned and conclusions. You know, our team is the researchers on these teams are Lakshmi Charlie Joseph, Marisa Mazaridiar, Patricia Perez Belmont, Beth Tellman, Jaime Paneque Galvez, and Beatriz Lopez Arboleda. Well, the Xochimilco wetland are located in southern Mexico City. It's a peri-urban wetland and one of the last remnants of the original lake system of the basin of Mexico. This wetland has been managed in pre-Hispanic times to carry out agricultural activities in floating gardens called chinampas, in which food crops are still being grown to supply the city's inhabitants. This site is relevant in terms of food security and source jobs and as living cultural heritage. It's a socio-ecosystem rich in culture and biodiversity, considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And also Xochimilco provides resilient properties for the city, including the climate regulation, water storage, and research groundwater supply, and it's an attractive place for tourists too. The expansion of the city has advanced over the wetlands, generating complex social dynamics and changing the landscape in the last century. Well, the wetland deterioration is the result of different activities and processes in Xochimilco nowadays. How I said, the expansion of the city and the informal urbanization has led to the loss of productive chinampas. And on the other hand, urban water management infrastructures have an impact on the degradation of the socio-ecosystem, because water is extracted from aquifer for city consumption, and the water treated is discarded into the canals. Also, the tourism, despite its relevant economic activity, has a negative impact on the conservation of the socio-ecosystem. And the implementation of new agricultural technologies and the lack of interest of the new generations cause the loss of the social cultural heritage associated with agriculture. In this context, we are interested in understanding how institutional and governance schemes determine certain discourses and narratives around sustainability planning in a shared framework of transdisciplinary and participatory action research. The main objectives for the first year were understand the governance at the sub-basin level through the development of participatory diagnosis based on the resulting information that we want to we have from previous researchers in the wetland. And the second one was reveal the narratives patterns related to aquatic ecosystem management and the peri-urban dynamics in the area. And based in these objectives, we work in the co-production of sustainability hypotheses and design of transformative proposals. And the third one was the design space process to co-create transformative narratives that may enhance a sense of agency and support alternatives and plural ways of acting towards sustainability. And in this case, the co-production of the activities take two methodological approach. We try to relate art-based methods and situated experiences or experiential learning. Well, the complexity of Xochimilco involves actors acting with different logics and interests. It's a very complex space. You have the government with the actions to, for example, generate a water supply for the city and the treatment of the wastewaters from the city. You have the farmers practicing different types of agriculture, traditional agriculture and industrial agriculture. And there are a lot of NGOs working there with different objectives. And then this provoke different actions to preserve the ecosystem and traditions and different processes of transformation that are not always articulated and give the expected results. And on this basis, we set out to work on designing and testing transformational activities towards sustainability. The first transformation activities consist in workshops with secondary school students in Mexico City. And the hypothesis in these transformation activities was that the loss of intergenerational transmission of values and knowledge has repercussion on the sustainability of the socio-ecosystem, because the lack of knowledge about the socio-cultural value of the place increased the lack of interest in the new generation for its conservation. Based on this hypothesis, we try to articulate situates experience and art-based activities with the students and chinamperos, the farmers of the Xochimilco. And the main framework is education for sustainability as an instrument of transformation. Well, the particular objectives of these activities was to build intergenerational bridges between farmers and young people that allow recover the knowledge and life history of traditional chinampero producers and share them with the new generation of Mexico City, stimulate in the new generation an awareness of the socio-ecological value of the Xochimilco wetland, and provide opportunities to generate a sense of agency among the youth of the region in the conservation of the wetland and its biocultural heritage. For this purpose, the methodology that we implemented include 3 core activities: deep listening, where older adults share their knowledge with the students, a situated experience carrying out agroecological practice guided by Chinampa farmers, production, where teams of students reflect upon what they have experienced and learned, and attempt to express it through fanzines. And the process was complemented with 2 evaluation moments at the beginning and the end of the workshop, in which a questionnaire was applied to give us a sense of the transformative change that may occur after the experience. The methodology was tested in the natural protected area of Xochimilco, between 14 and 18 years old, from 2 schools in the region, 1 public and 1 private. Here we have some pictures of the activities, the workshop. These activities were developed in the Chinampas to generate a situated experience, and the students after the activities work in group of 3 persons, 3 students, making the fanzines. The fanzines are little stories about their experiences in the Chinampas. And well, the results of the experience are very, very interesting, because we can see a very enthusiastic participation of the student. And in the questionnaires, the results show that they have deep interest in the conservation of the place after the activities. The main conclusions in these activities are that the methodology show potential to generate awareness in students regarding the importance of agroecological activity, ancestral traditions, and the Chinampas as a space with conservation value, and that the combination of this deep listening, agroecological practice, and artistic production generate a strong interest in the student, who were attentive at all stages and participated, motivated with questions to the speaker and farmers. Also, the proposal did not address all the causes that generate the deterioration of the socio-ecosystem. We think the methodology aims to work on a central issue of sustainability, such as the transmission of knowledge in an intergenerational values. Well, this was our first transformation activities. After that, we work in another activities. And then the hypothesis was that the lack of articulation between actors with agency in the Xochimilco wetlands generates an atomization of action that diminishes the possibilities for achieving trajectories toward the sustainability of the socio-ecosystem. I told about the different actors working here in this place, and they have very different interests, and that is a real problem in Xochimilco because the actions are not articulated. Then, well, we work with art-based methods and future workshops. And the objectives in this, the main objective was to build a meta-sustainability network and think the art as a form of collective expression. Sorry. Well, how I said, this activity had the particular objective that co-produce possible future of the socio-ecosystem that contemplate the different interests involved and that allowed generating sustainability imaginaries of the place and co-developed guidelines to generate a capacity for collective agency and a meta-sustainability network that facilitates enacting desired futures. And the last one, co-design actions for showing transformation towards sustainability. The methodology was based on the realization of an art exhibition on the identity of Xochimilco with local actors. For this, first, we formed a team with local actors to build a methodology and generate the meta-sustainability network using art as an instrument. In this space, a proposal was made to hold an art exhibition on the identity of Xochimilco, and the actors was the principal participants in this exhibition. We here try to use the art like an instrument, not just for artists, not just for artists, for people, for example, for farmers or for NGOs member too. Well, after the exhibition, we will continue with workshops on desired futures and the development of joint transformation actions, and finally, at a later stage of the project, work on the implementation of this action. This is the whole methodology, but in my last year, I worked just to the art production and exhibition. I will share some results with you. In this process, we work with the transdisciplinary team formed by farmers, researchers, ONG's members, and people working in the state. We made 3 workshops for the design of the exhibitions, where almost 40 people participated, and more than 14 individual and collective art pieces were generated for this proposal. Some of them are made, some of them were made for artists, but others for farmers and for NGO members, like I said before. Well, also we developed a virtual exhibition that was created by Movixo, a local NGO dedicated to the diffusion of Xochimilco's art. And in the last time, we made the physical exhibition in the Museum of the Ecological Park of the Xochimilco. Here you have some photographies. Sorry, here I have a problem. No, it's okay. Here you have some photographies of the workshops. For example, in the preparatory workshops, we work with art-based methods. In this case, we developed an activity where each one drew something about the meaning of Xochimilco with natural inks and wrote 2 words that refer to the wetland to introduce himself or herself. This was a strategy to avoid that people referring to their professions and activities and presented themselves based on their relationship to the place. And it was very useful because nobody started to talk about their personal interest and their work in the place. Just they refer to the identity of the place, and in many cases they refer to their early years there, living there in Xochimilco. Well, and in this place you have at the right you have some pictures of the some paints and photographies for the exhibition. Here, I don't know if you can see, there is a video about the preparation of the exhibition in the museum. Here is the museum. Please let me see. I don't know if you can see the video. Well, and there, okay, and you have here some picture of the inauguration of the exhibition. A lot of people from the organization that participated in the workshops was there, and it was very nice because we could relate people from different places and interests, thinking just in Xochimilco identity. Well, the preliminary conclusion of this second strategy, second transformation activities are that participation at all stages was in a spirit of cooperation, but it was necessary to deploy a specific method to prevent the imposition of particular discourses and interest. And here art was very useful. And there was a strong commitment of the participants to the site, which constitutes a solid base for the development of future activities for his conservation, for the conservation of Xochimilco. We think this commitment with the site is very important because it allowed to design and implement future activities with these people. And art was a design force and an instrument that fostered the generation of new links that need to be strengthened with the continuation of activities. And in this sense, the idea of the participants was to become this exhibition and itinerant exhibitions and continue showing the exhibition in different places in Xochimilco and out of Xochimilco. And well, that's all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Yeah, that was very interesting, and that leads us, of course, to the next round. Are there any questions or remarks from the people in the audience? Otherwise, I have my own question, which I can also. Leon raises his hand. So, Leon, please go first.
Thank you, Jaap, and especially Carlos. Really nice presentation, and really nice to get this update of the activities in Mexico in the past, I guess, almost year, at least that's what it seemed like. And I thought it was also nice to note that the exhibition was not only in Mexico, but actually also online. So I hope we already have the link on our project website. If not, that is a good opportunity to definitely add it there so that we can also all visit it. But yeah, I have some questions.
If you want,
yes.
Sorry, if you want, I can show the web page. I don't know if we have enough time.
Yeah, or otherwise maybe we can we can do that via email, and we can somehow make sure the link is there on our website. Perfect. So that everyone can have a look. But if we have time, indeed have a look together is also nice. I have 3 questions. I'll just share all 3 with that of them with you. And in the beginning, you mentioned 2 of the, I think, objectives or steps in the process that precede, if I understood it correctly, that sort of preceded these activities of the design of the more co-creation processes, and one was to reveal the narrative patterns. And I would assume that has been done and leads you to formulate your hypothesis. And I was just wondering if you could share a little bit more about how you have gone about establishing these narratives to build your hypothesis. Then the second one is if you have thought of additional ways to sort of measure the effect of the activities beyond just observing the behavior of the participants during the activity, which is of course quite difficult to do. But I was just wondering if you have if you have given that some thought. And the third one is who the question of who participated eventually in these activities, for instance, in these art-based methods, and how did you deal with maybe participation fatigue, or maybe not participation fatigue with all the participants, but then maybe with a certain group which would then maybe also lead to some sort of bias in the group participating, and how do you view that, or how do you deal with that? So those are my 3 questions. You don't have to answer all of them, but that's
Okay.
just what popped up when I was listening.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if somebody else in the team want to do any comment, but talking to the first one, you ask about the narratives punctually, and the construction of the hypothesis. Well, for this stage, I work in a deep participatory action research diagnosis in the area, and fortunately, Lakshmi, Beth, Marisa were working in this place for years. Then they have a lot of information about the place and the process in the place, and that was my base for the analysis of the narratives and the construction of the hypothesis. The diagnosis was working with the people. The most activities was ethnographic activities in places where the people every day work. For example, the farmers, or they meet their meetings with their families. And my idea was to try to have a deep knowledge about what are the sustainability problems there. And of course, there are a lot. It's not easy because there are a lot of potential hypotheses of insustainability of the place. And in these different, I selected 2 of them in base of the possibility of work with the people, because when I was working there, I could see what for me were possible to do with them, and that was the procedure for select this hypothesis, and for the construction of the methodology. I don't know if it's okay for you, Leon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the second one, it's about the sorry, can you remember the
Yeah, I was wondering if you had also some additional ways to measure sort of the effect of the intervention on the participants beyond the observation of their sort of behavior during the activities.
Yes, for the first one, for the workshops between students and farmers, we applied 2 questionnaires, one to the first, an initial questionnaire and a final questionnaire. And with this, we made a statistical analysis. This information is fully presented in our draft of the paper. And the questionnaire also, the fanzines were sorry. Here, the fanzines are a source of information for us because they expressed in the fanzines their learning about the chinampas and the farmer and the different activities that we develop there in the chinampas. Then we have these two sources, the questionnaires and the fanzines. And in the last question about the participation of the people in the workshops and the art exhibition, here we also made a questionnaire, an initial questionnaire and a net questionnaire to evaluate the process. And in the workshops, the participation was very enthusiastic, and I don't have here all the picture of the piece of art, but some of them, for example, were made by farmers. And they don't make paintings or photographs. They show their own tools to work in the chinampas, for example. And that was a way to express their relationship with the place. The concept of art here was very, very open, and everybody could participate with, for example, some women participate with their food. They cook for us in the exhibition, and that was the contribution to the exhibition. And I think that was a good strategy because, of course, not everybody presented something, but a lot of them can present could present their works. And on the other hand, some of the production was collective. For example, photography. They made a chapin of photographies, like a collage of photographies, and everybody put one of the photographies there. Then I think it was a good way to promote the participation of the different persons in the art exhibitions. Just 3 persons, that presented were artists. Just 3. The others was NGOs members, farmers, and people from the Xochimilco wetland.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos. I think I give it back to Jaap, or maybe Mizo, but Jaap.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos. And just in the meantime, you can find in the chat Lakshmi has shared the link to the virtual museum. So You can follow that. Micho, indeed, please, your hand is raised.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I had three things in mind. Like, first question is like follow-up question to Leon. Like, how did you choose the participants? Like, I mean, was there any criteria like who will participate in each activity? And the second one is, how did you choose the methods? Means we have many participatory methods, like these are the methods is going to give us best results from the field. How did you arrive at the those methods? Then third thing is like it's an academic curiosity. Like I want to just flag out like what kind of knowledge these kind of activities brings other than the conventional ethnographic methods. Like we in terms of any innovative kind of knowledge production. So that's a general question. So these are the three things. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I understood very well to Mijo. I'm sorry, my English is not very good. Mijo, you are asking what kind of knowledge relevant we produce with the research? Is that?
I was asking
okay?
how is different than employing conventional ethnographic methods, like the knowledge arrives from these participatory methods.
So
Maybe
Lakshmi
to help. Several methods of participation were selected for this research. And I think the question is how and why you select the tools and to what results do they lead?
Jap, there is an echo.
Yeah, I got method from Leon as well. I'm going to do something about my sound system, and maybe you can answer the question.
Sorry, I can listen because there is an echo. Leon, can you repeat me, please?
I'll try another. Otherwise, Mizo repeat. But I think the question is if you could reflect a little bit on how via the methods that you have applied here, if that gives you a different type or additional information from information you would obtain if you would use, let's say, normal ethnographic methods. I think that was
okay.
question. Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. Well, I think the difference is not just the information that you collect in the activities. The difference maybe is that you are generating a co-production of the knowledge. You are generating a space for the cooperative work there with different actors, and the spirit of participatory action research is just to put in value the knowledge of different actors, and that was the idea here. And of course, in that process, the researcher learned about the other people, and then the knowledge that I could produce reading or with a questionnaire, or it's more limited that working in this kind of framework. For example, there is in the place a lot of different projects from academy, and the people, it's very it's not interested in this kind of project because they work from the same paradigm all the time. They are thinking in the data that they need, and the people are not interested in to give data just for give data. They want to participate in another ways. And I think this kind of methodologies allow to break this logic of the academy. I don't know if I answered the question, Mijo. Sorry.
I see a thumbs up, and this is also my test if the sound is better now. Yeah, so then the next question is also, well, from my side then. So what are then the next steps in this research? So you feel now there's a good commitment. You had a nice start with the exhibition. So what are you planning to do with this, and how to build on forwards, and in particularly how that can also be maybe transformative for you as a researcher, but transformative in the sense of our project and contributing to transformative planning.
Okay, well, the general methodology, have this structure. The art production and exhibition is the first step in this methodology. Well, not the first one, but because first we made the team and started to work in what methodology they think is good for Xochimilco. And then art was an instrument, and the idea of the exhibition is to start to build the meta-sustainability network, where the people start to make something together, and after that, the second activities is work in future workshops, where the people think the future for Xochimilco and start to think in activities, politics, and actions to make the transformation that they are desired for Xochimilco. Then the exhibition is just for start this process and to make more easy the construction of relations between people. And the future workshops, maybe the second steps, are the main activity to the transformation, maybe, no? Because they had to think in the future of Xochimilco and what is the way to go to this future.
And has it then transformed you a little bit, the exhibition?
Sorry,
So has
Shao,
it given you a new insight?
sorry, can you repeat?
Yes. So the exhibition has been posted. And my question was, has it transformed you maybe already? Has it given you a different perspective on the issue? And what maybe
Yes.
what was most inspiring to you from it?
Okay, well, for me, I think the most interesting in the exhibition was the process of building the exhibition, because we had to work with the farmers and people. They are thinking and designing the exhibition. For example, to make the exhibition was very difficult to find a place because it's not easy in 6 months produce an exhibition and found a place where to do the exhibition. And that was a very, very hard work. And it was possible because some of the participants made different activities with the government and with the museum to have the place, and that was very interesting. Then the process was a place where everybody had to work together for the final exhibition. And for me, it was interesting because I saw that when art is an instrument, or art is yes, an instrument, the people don't fight too much for their own interest. And that is I think the main problem when you try to articulate actions between different actors. It's very difficult because everybody are looking for their own interest. And in this case, it didn't the case. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Can
No,
you
thank you.
understand?
Yeah,
Yes?
yeah, we can understand. I'm also looking at the time, and that is saying that we need to wrap up. So let me give the opportunity for one more question from the people who are here. And if not, then I'm just going to say a big thank you, Carlos, and of course the whole Mexican Note for the work for the last year, and that you have been sharing with us. I find it very interesting, and I'm going to look into the virtual museum and to be inspired by it. So thank you very much. Leaves me, of course, for my announcements for the next webinars, and there's the next webinar is scheduled for 18 November, and it will be hosted by the communications team, and that will also follow up for the webinar afterwards. So that being said, again, Carlos, thank you very much. I found it very interesting, and
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for being here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon again.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.